Good morning. My name is Magina Maddox, and I will be discussing the budget, and I am from the Finance Department. So within the budget section, you'll see where you'll list your personnel details for your position. So you must include the position title, the pay code, for example, whether it's hourly, weekly, or biweekly, the hours per week you will be working on the project, the pay rate, the annual salary, and the percentage of the time you will be working on the project. So for example, if you'll be doing 50% of the time, then you'll put that number there, or if it'll be 100% of the time, then of course you'll put that number as well. And then finally, the total amount of the project salary will go in the last field. So I'll wait a little bit, it's blank. Let's see. And I may have a extra copy. I think this is page 47. Okay, so on this page, you'll talk about your personnel services details and benefits. So you'll have, again, the project salary, which you'll put the percentage of the time and the total amount. And then you'll list your benefits here, such as your FICA, retirement, health insurance, and workers' comp. Your FICA will always equal 7.65%, or if you're using Social Security and Medicare, you'll combine 6.2% with 1.45%, and it'll give you that same FICA total as 7.65%. And so on the next slide, I think I'm on slide 49 now. So on this slide, you're going to show your pay schedule code for the employees. It's again going to show if it's an hourly rate, an hourly pay code, weekly, biweekly, or semi-monthly, the month of the pay period, and then you'll have your beginning date, your ending date, and then the actual pay date. And so the next slide gives a more in-depth detail of those items. So for example, you have a employee with an hourly pay code for the month of October, beginning date in September, ending date in October, and the actual pay date, October 11. So for this example, where you see that September pay date, because you cannot claim that for the month, for the grant number one, you would prorate that amount for the actual amount that you'll be claiming that month. And so the next slide shows your enforcement activity hours. So you'll list your resources, and then you'll do what their pay rate is, the total hours they're paying, and then the amount of funds needed for that time frame. And so next, my screen is blank, so let me pull up my copy.
We're on 52, Magina.
Thank you. So here you'll list your regular operating expenses, and this includes items that will individually cost less than $1,000. So it'll include your shipping and handling and the taxes in that unit price. So for example, you have listed here, one of the items are your camera, your temp meters, paper, ALCO sensors, vehicle light installation, and your vehicle maintenance. And so for anything that's listed at $1,000 or more, you would fill that out on the budget form section. And next we have the travel. So any conferences or trainings that you attend, you would list here. You'll also want to include your mileage, your hotel, and then per diem will only be for grantee employees. The next slide will give you an example of the budget forms. So for the budget forms here, you'll put your equipment purchases. So that's anything that costs over $1,000 or more, you will list that. And then anything over $5,000 or more, you'll need NHTSA's approval prior to you making that purchase. Also here, contractual services will be listed, so that speakers, any instructors, consultants, or room rentals. And then contracts must be approved by GOHS before being executed. And then for per diem fees, that applies to travels of non-employees of the grantee. And then lastly, computer charges and computer equipment will be listed here. So this includes anything that has to do with computer equipment and recurring charges. Also, you can include your telecommunication equipment. So that's anything that has to do with cell phones, internet access, Wi-Fi, or etc. Motor vehicle purchases only, and then rent or real estate, such as your office spaces that you'll be using. And then the cost summary category, this will show your entire budget for your project. So it'll list all your personnel services. Example, that would be fringes and salaries, and then you'll have your regular operating expenses, and also some things like your telecommunication and motor vehicle purchases. So you enter the matching funds. If you don't have anything, you would at least want to put 0 in that section. And then the cost of a single item would also be included here, and that has to do anything with shipping and taxes.
Thank you, Magina. I do want to just reiterate the cost of items. If you've applied for a grant before with us, this is something new that we just put into play last year. And it's based off of our inventory and how we maintain inventory. If a price, including taxes and shipping and handling, is over $1,000, then it needs to go in the equipment category. So the total price of the item does include taxes and shipping and handling. So just remember that when you're putting in your budgets.